Hello everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. I am so excited for today's video. I just want to squeeze your little head and tell you I am so excited. No idiot sandwiches here, no. Pure excitement. Today we are going to be trying out Ina Gartens' $100 chocolate cake. Obviously, if you can't tell from my accent, I'm living in England and I can't buy her chocolate cake. So you can buy her chocolate cake on Goldbelly, which I believe is like a delivery app, but it's $100. Now, I've got no means of buying that, but I found the recipe online and apparently this chocolate cake is out of this world, will knock your socks off, you little tootsies. So we're gonna give it a go. And I am doing this to the T because I do have a habit in baking, it can be said, that sometimes I potentially take the shortcuts, but I'm not doing that today. I even have the trusty faithful sieve out, which is very on me. I don't normally sieve things because I think, does it really make that much difference? Is it really worth it? But it actually is. So the first step is to weigh all of the dry ingredients into a bowl. So that's pretty simple. This also doesn't seem like that much of a complicated recipe. Big up Ina Gartens. I only just realised that she's the barefoot contessa. She's the one with no socks on. Maybe because her socks get knocked off all the time because she's eating this amazing chocolate cake. Who knows? Right, 210 grams of plain flour. This feels wrong for me. I haven't sieved in years. Although this was in my video the other week, celebrity chefs equipment. So if you want to see that, there's actually a Mary Berry sieve and it's actually pretty stonking. I just feel like when I'm mixing this all together, does it really make that much of a difference? But look at that. Sorry, but how smooth was that? Sieve the sugar. I ain't ever sieved sugar before. For a minute, I thought I only had light brown sugar. Don't worry, I found the caster sugar. Why are we sieving this though? There's not a need to sieve sugar. Ina, what's going on? See, that's 402 grams, which normally I would be fine at leaving the extra 2 grams, but look at that sieve do its work. Can you see that? It's just gliding down. Oh yeah. Oh, I suppose you don't want any of the little crunchy morsels of sugar really, do you? Fine, Ina, I get it, I get it. Interestingly, we add the cocoa powder dry, which is quite fascinating. I have tested many different recipes for chocolate cakes, and I have found that when you hydrate the cocoa powder with water, you often get a more strong flavour, but this will become stronger because it's a hot water method. So later on we'll be adding some hot water to the cake, which should in turn make it a more intense chocolatey flavour. Oops. I was following the. I can't wait for Christmas. Why is it inappropriate to play Christmas songs all year round when really they're just good songs? Like Michael Bubé's album is just a good time. So if I want to play it in May, I'll play it in May. Who's saying I can't? 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Oh no! No! Actually just 1. Do not fret, I rescued the other baking powder. 2 teaspoons of bicarbonate of soda. Normally put more baking powder than bicarbonate of soda in. Fascinating. And 1 teaspoon of salt, which seems like a lot of salt, but I'm gonna do exactly what she says. I'm following it to a T. Beautiful. Now we mix that with a paddle attachment. I'm even gonna follow her instructions on using a paddle attachment. There we go. Don't you know, pump it up. I got to pump it up. Now that our dry ingredients are all mixed together beautifully, we are gonna prep our wet ingredients. Now it specifically says that the buttermilk should be shaken. So I'm gonna shake this sucker up. It doesn't say how much, because what's one person's shake is another person's jiggle, you know? Shaken, not stirred. 240 ml of buttermilk, bosh. 120 ml of vegetable oil, bosh. 2 eggs at room temperature, which is very key. And the last thing, which I never measure, because I think it should be measured from the heart, vanilla extract. I always just eyeball this, but it says 1 teaspoon, so I'm following it to a T. I fundamentally disagree with that because it should be measured from the heart. So I'm just gonna combine all those little ingredients. And then we just pour it on a low speed into the dry ingredients. Easy. I've just poured the wet ingredients in there and I'm quickly reboiling the kettle because we want 240 ml of freshly brewed coffee. Now I don't know my coffee very well, so I've just got some instant powder, but it's still freshly brewed, all right? Because I don't have a coffee machine or anything like that. The coffee just brings out the chocolate flavour, it brings out the intensity. So we need 240 ml. And what happens here is the hot water will react and create this beautiful, like fudgy texture. Oh, why is coffee so disgusting? It literally stinks. Wow, just like that. Fun. Right, freshly brewed. Cup of hot Joe. Right, let's pour that in. I have to say it's gorgeous and glossy, but I'll show you once I've slowly poured it in. I'm only one woman. When I have the new kitchen, I'm gonna get 2 angles because I want you to see what's going on in here. Right, I'm gonna come and show you because I'm about to scrape down the bowl. It's really, oh gosh, there's loads at the bottom that we need to get all ruffled up. It's really liquidy actually now, but before it was really thick and glossy, kind of like a brownie batter. So let's just mix this up. Okay, I think that the cake mixture is done. I have our 2 prepared tins here, and you just pour it in. Really simple. That was a very simple mixture. I'm really now getting in the mood for a chocolate cake. Come and have a look, would you? Stop the moaning and have a look. Look at that. Oh, doesn't that look good? Now, one thing to bear in mind, which is where things could potentially go wrong, is I don't use this big oven at all because I don't get on with it. I normally use this and I normally bake in this. However, these are obviously 2 cakes and I can't put 2 cakes in my little combi oven thing. So I'm gonna have to use the main oven, but I don't know how it is for baking. I've only made like sausage rolls and that's not too fiddly. Everything else has gone in there, so I'm hoping that they will hold up okay. Let's pop these in. Ow! Burn myself. I'm okay. I'm okay. 35 to 40 minutes. Timer. Time to tidy up. 3, 2, 1. Look at that. Beautiful. Well, actually not super clean because we need to make buttercream. I will say, any keen coffee lovers have probably spotted this thing. This is my husband's coffee machine. But I cannot, for love nor money, I can't make him a coffee in it because I cannot open it, like all my strength. Oh. Well, I've been getting out of making him coffee because I've always told him that I can't make it. He doesn't have to know that. I'm gonna make him a cup of tea instead. So let's get on with the buttercream. So I am going to melt the chocolate, but it says plain chocolate, less than 70% solids. I don't know what, I wish they put a specific chocolate because I feel like this could change everything. It really could. I'm gonna do like a mix of Bournville and dairy milk because I feel like that would be quite plain. I don't know, I'm hoping. I mean, dairy milk is good for everything. I feel like the buttercream is really where it gets interesting. So we've got our melted chocolate cooling over here until it gets to room temperature. And then we're gonna go in with our room temperature butter. It's so hot in here that it's actually melted a bit. And then we beat that for 3 minutes with our good old friend, the paddle attachment. I actually like using a whisk for my buttercream to make it real whipped up. So I'm gonna actually time it 3 minutes and everything just to make it precise. She's going on. 3 minutes. Let's get all the other ingredients ready for the rest of the buttercream. Timer. Now we're gonna add 1 egg yolk. This is the interesting bit, and our 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and beat again for 3 minutes. I've never put an egg yolk in buttercream, but I'm here to try. The timer has just gone off again, and now we add our icing sugar, slowly mixing it in. So I'm just gonna do it little bit by little bit, and I have already sieved this much to my dismay. I hate doing this bit because it goes everywhere. Now what I normally do is I get a wee little tea towel and I just shove that like that. And the glass bowl is actually great because then I can peek and have a look. I have to say, I don't know if it's adding the egg yolk or what, but it is so light and whipped. It's looking pretty good. Now, I don't know if the chocolate is called to room temp or not. If you have it too hot, then what happens is, because this is a little bit cold, it will get little bits of like hardened chocolate. I'd say that's room temp. A little bit for me. Yeah. Yeah, I'd say that's room temp. Okay, we also have here 1 tablespoon of instant coffee powder with 2 teaspoons of hot water. It does say don't whip it, just have it until it's all blended. And I would say that is all blended. Should I give it a little taste? Let's give it a little taste. I'm gonna get the spatula in just to make sure it is all blended nicely. It's quite strong coffee. I feel like I'm gonna be bouncing off the walls after that. I don't know if that much coffee is needed in the icing, but it's pretty good. Okay, the timer has just gone off for the cakes. I can see it in the oven, but I don't know if they're done yet. Oh, no, they aren't not done yet. I think I'm gonna need to put some tin foil on them. This is my concern with using this oven, but let's see. I'm really intrigued how these are gonna turn out. Just gonna put a little bit of tin foil, make sure they don't burn on top. We all know it's my biggest bugbear. Okay, so that was 35 minutes that they've had. Now let's do another 10. Looks like they're not gonna be done for a while. This is what they look like. It took 45 minutes in total, and now we just let them cool. They said to leave them in the tins for 45 minutes and then take them out and leave them in a cooling rack. This is what the cakes look like. They have quite a nice rise on them, and if you can see, they look quite dark and fudgy, and they're really nice and soft and spongy. So I'm feeling confident with the cake. It's time to face the music. I am so excited. Okay. We are going to assemble the cake. I feel like I just want to triple check the instructions because I've come this far. It would be annoying if I didn't do it properly. So 1 second. It just says spread immediately on the cool cake. So let's spread this sucker. It feels like a fantastic cake. Although I always feel like with chocolate cake, this is a very controversial take, but Betty Crocker. I think Betty Crocker is as good as many chocolate cakes I've had in my time. And this feels like it could rival it actually. I don't know if it's supposed to go all up the sides and everything. Oh, it goes all up the sides and everything. I probably shouldn't have worn a white sweatshirt for this, but hey, I'm brave. I'm feeling really brave today. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna smush that around. Oh, it's so silky, this frosting. I don't think I've ever seen frosting this silky in my whole entire life. Okay, let's get that down the sides. I'm not gonna crumb coat it or anything because who's got time to crumb coat it really? It's homemade, it's just for me. And it doesn't say to crumb coat, it just says spread on cake. So I'm just doing what I've been told. I'm actually following instructions for once in my life. Chocolate cake is the best cake, isn't it? I do think a carrot cake rivals a chocolate cake though. Just saying, even that by itself would be a beautiful work of art. I should have done this on a nice little cake stand. This just feels sublime. Oh yeah. Normally, this sort of buttercream would come from being like a Swiss meringue or something. But I haven't even had to labour away making Swiss meringue. It's basically Swiss meringue without all the work. Although I am just smelling pure coffee. It is like pure coffee. I feel like frosting really divides people. Some people are such frosting lovers. Some people are frosting haters. Also like buttercream, glacé icing, cream cheese frosting. I feel like everyone has such different preferences. Like my dad, every time I forget that he doesn't like cream cheese frosting. What kind of a barbarian is he? I also love it. Sometimes you make a cake and there is not enough icing or there's too much or whatever. But I love it when it's just the right amount and the measurements are perfect. And I feel like this cake, the measurements for the icing are perfect. So big up Ina. Ina, is that how you pronounce it? I feel like Ina's a really good name for a dog. Not like in a bad way, I just feel like I can imagine a little sausage dog called Ina. Such a sweet name for a sausage dog. That might go on the list for sausage dogs, just saying. Oh, Ina, come here. You wanna see the cake? I never need to make another cake again. This is fantastic. Okay, here the cake is. I probably could have made it neater around the edges, but as I said, it's just for us. Look how silky that looks on top. Are you joking? It's time to cut it. Lots of my friends prefer cake that's been in the fridge, and I feel like this would be a really good cake for the fridge. The way that is gliding, I always say glid, and I always thought glid was a word. But one thing about YouTube is it keeps you humble because you realise that you say things completely wrong. But look at the way that glid in there. Oh my goodness, this looks insane. This actually looks flipping insane. Come and have a look. I'm sorry. Are we seeing the like chocolatey fudginess of that? Have a look in there as well. Oh my goodness. Right, let's give this a whirl. I'm worried it's gonna be too coffee-ish, but maybe we can call it a mocha cake. That is a really, really good cake. Now I will say, there's too much coffee in that buttercream. But the actual sponge is so chocolatey, fudgy. I mean, I kind of get why she's charging $100 because it's banging. It's so rich, chocolatey. I would change the amount of buttercream. No, I would change the amount of coffee. There's still some alterations I could make. Also, I feel like this cake would have so much scope. Like this as a Black Forest. I actually think this might be the best chocolate fudge cake I've ever had. It's fudgy. And you know what? It does beat Betty Crocker's. Say what you want to say. Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed this recipe, or this video, and this recipe, which I will link down below. And the other thing I like is this recipe was in grams, so I don't have to faff around with cup measurements. So I will link all of that below. If there are any other recipes you'd like me to test out, please let me know. Apparently, there's a $100 coconut cake one. Now, I'm not a big coconut cake lover, but with the way that this chalky fudge cake has gone, maybe I'll like it. Sublime. Have a great week, guys. As always, subscribe if you want, it's free. Like if you want, it's free. And go and make a banging cake.